Well, the time is just gone 15 minutes past 8 as we kick off this morning, and we're going straight across to be joined by Bishop Edwin Pockpass. Bishop, good morning to you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning to you, Inyat, and to your listeners and viewers and followers.
Yes, it is clear, well over 4 months into the genocide that is unfolding in Gaza, and the call couldn't be greater, the call couldn't be stronger for a ceasefire. And at the same time, we've seen condemnation in terms of the brutality, the carnage, the genocide that is unfolding. And looking at the Anglican Church of Southern Africa, that call is no different.
Yes, most certainly. It's been a long time coming. We, at another gathering last year called the Provincial Standing Committee, passed a resolution calling Israel an apartheid state, and also toying with the idea of starting what we call alternative pilgrimages to the Holy Land. Now, that happened on the 28th of September, and some would say that the statement and the declaration that was made was prophetic, because then 7 October happened. And since then, we have all seen world over how it unfolded and how this has now caused and be called a genocide, because it is a direct and concentrated attack on one specific nation and or cultural group. And as a faith community, we've always been saying that we cannot stand or sit on the side and allow this just to go on. And so when we met this at this Synod of Bishops, it was clear that something needed to be done to support the cause of the Palestinian people. Our statement is calling for a ceasefire. We are condemning the way in which this is unfolded. When there is a war, obviously there are principles of engagement, and civilians should be protected, and they should have access to basic services, to medical services, to water, to food and sanitation. And we have clearly seen that this has been violated. So as a church, we feel strongly that the cause and the plight of the Palestinian people should be supported in the manner that we propose we do. So yes, thank you for that.
Yes, Bishop, but this is not hearsay, because these are first-hand accounts, because we've heard
Yes,
about four people who were part of a delegation that visited
yes,
Israel, that visited the occupied West Bank in December 2023. So this is
mm,
not hearsay. These are
most
accounts
certainly.
of people who have been there, have witnessed firsthand what is taking place.
Yes, yes, most certainly. We were part of a group, Access Support for Palestine. And we've always worked on this platform. So four people, Barbara and Kululeko, Edwin and Reggie, visited the area in December last year as part of a group. And their reports has been distressing. Particularly the one is about people not having access to land, and people being pushed off the land, people being left without water, without sanitation, without the medical services. An Anglican hospital within the area very early in this war has been bombed, and so people do not have access to this. Others have focused and have highlighted the plight of the detainees and prisoners, and how people are economically deprived because permits have been taken away, and that they do not have access to work, and that they cannot attend to the very, very basic needs of their families. And so the report that was brought by these four people was quite distressing. And that's what has moved us to say enough is enough, not in our name. We cannot allow this to go on. And so here we are, and we hope to support in whatever possible way we can as an Anglican church.
Yes, and also, Bishop, when we look at South Africa and the South African case that was presented at the ICJ, and South Africa articulated this very, very well in terms of the leadership of this Zionist entity of Israel, the rhetoric, the genocidal rhetoric of the leadership. And again, at the same time, the church has actually recognized this as well. And rightly so, you've actually condemned this rhetoric that has been repeated over and over again. And even after South Africa had presented this case at the ICJ, we still see until today, we see that rhetoric being repeated over and over again.
Yes, thank you, Inyat. It is the case, but I'm of the opinion that people have woken up to the fact that they can get the spin machinery going as long as they want to and as best as they would like to apply this. But people are seeing this for what it is. And you have just referred to this situation with the one individual at the Israeli embassy in America. I mean, that's tragic. That is very sad. As a serviceman who has served his country, um, and how he demonstrated his disapproval of what's happening. There can be no doubt in anyone's mind that this is a humanitarian issue. It is not about politics and about this movement towards the setting up of a two-state situation. It's just brutality. It's genocide. It's focused. It's disproportionate. And so, yes, it should be condemned in the strongest possible terms.
Well,
Um, we've heard accounts of the arbitrary application of laws against Palestinians, and like I said, the denial of their most basic human rights. And it's parallel to what we have experienced as South African people in our country under the apartheid regime. And so this is it for us. We want to be out there supporting the plight of the Palestinian people.
yes, Bishop. In fact, I just want to stay a minute or two, and now that you spoke about this young serviceman, Aaron Bushnell, and his self-immolation, burning himself alive, and we know that no religion would actually condone, taking your own life, but people get driven to the extent, and this obviously was a very, very powerful statement that he actually wanted to make, because it just shows how serious this matter is, how people have actually taken this genocide to heart, that they go to these extreme measures, and the most extreme measures at a cost of his life.
Yes, most certainly. Thank you, Inet. We most certainly are not encouraging people to be martyred to this extent. But yes, again, it is someone taking a stand and being prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice for that stand. And that stand is that there should be a ceasefire, that there should be an end to this disproportionate war that's taking place, that people should be afforded their rights, that their freedom should be guaranteed. And like I say, it is extreme means, but it is an individual making a powerful statement saying enough is enough, and you're not going to continue to do this in my name. Look, we're talking about a United States citizen, and we've said so much about the condemnation for the financial and the military assistance that Israel has been given by, amongst others, the United States. And that cannot just go past. We need to, whilst we may not be as a country selling them arms, we need to call for an arms embargo. We ought to make sure that they are not provided the means to annihilate a whole nation and people in Palestine.
Well, certainly, and I think you raise a very, very important point in terms of the level of support that Israel gets from some of the most powerful nations, particularly the United States of America. We've seen some of the other countries like Britain sitting on the fence. We've seen Germany come out in support as well. And this is very, very disturbing, especially in this day and age where it's open, it's blatant, social media is full, and it's something that you can't hide away from. And with all the images, with all the footage that is coming out, what does it, I mean, what does this actually mean when you have countries that actively support this this genocide that has obviously, like you mentioned, over 30,000 people that have been killed, and we see 2.2 million that are in on the brink of starvation and living under the most horrible conditions that one can imagine.
Thank you, Inet. It's very difficult to say what's in the mind of countries like the Britons and the Germanys and the French and a few others who continue to support this onslaught by weaponizing the Israelis and by giving them support, technical and otherwise, and financial too. I just think that we've reached the point where as people, we have been dehumanized to the extent that we cannot see how dreadful this is, and how much it can contribute towards people losing the basic tenets of being human, integrity, and being there. In South Africa, we talk about the concept which is called the Ubuntu concept. I am because you are. Together we can make it work. And so when countries like Britain and Germany and the USA and a few others stand on the sideline while all of this is happening, it brings into question our common humanity and the sense of brotherhood or sisterhood, if you want to, with other people around the world. But we have made it clear that whilst, and I mean, the case that was brought by the South African government is a clear indication of the South African people saying we can identify with your pain and your struggle because we have been there. And so whilst others continue to stand on the line, we are going to throw in our support as best as we can for the people of the region. And I say the supply of military and financial aid that facilitates this war must come to an end. We may need to call for this investment or boycotts or sanctions of retail outlets and others supporting the military onslaught in the region, if it comes to that, because that is what has brought the South African people their liberation. The pressure that was applied by other countries and those who supported the cause in the liberation cause in our country.
Yes, Bishop, I understand, and I think we all know that Palestine is a humanitarian issue, and many saying that it's not a religious issue only, and we know it's not. But religion, and as a man of the cloth, you should know as well that religion does play a part. We've seen what had happened over Christmas. In Bethlehem, and also at the same time in this report that I'm looking at in terms of what the Anglican Church is also talking about. It's calling for a better informed pilgrimages to the land, to the Holy Land. The month of Ramadan is coming. We know people from all around the world converge into Palestine to the Al Aqsa Mosque as well to spend Ramadan. It is the third holiest site in Islam as well. We know that there are many, many religious Jews that are not happy, millions right across the entire world, and also peace loving Jews right across the entire world who have spoken out against the Zionist regime. So, although religion may not be the main focus, but religion has got a major, major role to play. And religion, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism is affected by what we know as the Zionist ideology.
Yes, Inayat, I would agree with you strongly so. But we can also say, talking about Judaism and Islam and Christianity, religion has always been pro-life, on sound principles. For Christians, we've got the example of Jesus, who showed a deep compassion for people and their plight. And so, even if we refer to it as the religions of the region, we should not have the situation. We should have a constant seeking after peace and coexistence and supporting one another. As the Anglican Church, we did a Lenten course a year or two ago with a focus, Bible study course on the Bible in the land called holy. And in fact, the understanding of the biblical Israel and what we refer to as the Zionist state right now has been well explained and so on. And it keeps on saying that, yes, it is about supporting one another. It's about pro-life. It's about giving each other the space so that we can develop ourselves meaningfully so. And out of that, I can say with clarity that out of that, our September statement came last year, because it was well informed by us reflecting on Scripture, where we are as a people, as a Christian people, and how we relate to our Islamic and our Jewish brothers in creating a safe space and environment within the Palestinian area. So even if you say religion has been brought into it, yes, religion would never support the annihilation of a people. Never, ever. Christianity, most certainly not so. that the Jesus whom we declare to be our Savior was certainly not so.
Well, definitely, Bishop. Bishop, well, thank you very much for that. And I know, you've obviously taken time out from your busy schedule to join us this morning right here on Salam Media. And I must say, it's been an absolute pleasure. We appreciate you taking time out this morning, and we wish you all the best. Please take care.
Thank you, Inayat. Keep well. Blessings to you and your cause as well. Be assured of our support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bishop Edwin Pockpass with us this morning from the Anglican Church of Southern Africa as they demand a ceasefire in Gaza, and they also denounce at the same time the military support that Israel is getting by some of the powers that be right across the entire world. With that, we're going for a break. We come back, we'll be focusing on the Bella Bill.